We're double fisting again, got YouTube and Facebook Live for another episode of the Kilted Coaches.
Hope that you're all fucking awesome. Well, we know you're awesome, but I hope you're feeling awesome.
Yeah. So we're just going to get the comments up, and then we're going to stuck into a bit of a lesson, and then we'll do a bit of a Q&A on the other side.
Catch you on the other side.
Catch you on the fly, homie. Right, I can never find our... What was it doing now? Like the YouTube. Anyway. So today's lesson is the hidden costs of inaction. So what we're referring to is, let's just say you had a goal, a health and fitness goal. What is it costing you to do nothing about that goal?
Because it costs something. Always costs something. Either your life is absolutely awesome, you're moving forward, you're pushing yourself, or you're not. And there's something holding you back from taking that action. It might be because the cost of taking action seems quite high. Now, the cost of taking action is something you've got to consider. You know, there is an emotional cost, a mental cost, a physical cost, obviously a financial cost sometimes. There's a bunch of costs and you go, I want to make those changes, but I just can't because the costs seem big. But there is hidden cost of you not taking action, and that's what we want to talk about today.
Now, how often have you ever sat down and thought, right, I want to lose 20 pounds. I'll use that figure. I've been using that a lot lately. I want to lose 20 pounds, and you do nothing about it. And 6 months passes, and you're sitting talking with friends, and you're still saying the same words. I want to lose 20 pounds, but I haven't even started yet. That's 6 months of your life that you've wanted something and yet made no effort to try and achieve it. What happens 12 months from then? What's happening to you emotionally to have a want and desire that for whatever reason you are not pursuing? That is quite a powerful question to ask, and a lot of people are frightened to start. They don't know how to start. They don't know where to start. But the fact that you haven't started is that biggest statement there, and that is costing you more than you might realize.
Inaction is still action. You're still making a decision. You're making a decision not to do anything. And I think our main question to you guys is that what you want? Do you want to do nothing? Do you want to stay exactly where you are? The obvious costs of you taking action towards your goal can seem uncomfortable. And we get it, 100% get it. We deal with people day in, day out. And even when you've made the decision and paying that initial cost, it doesn't stop there. You continue to pay these costs, the mental, emotional, physical, financial costs towards your goal. But as you get on with the journey, it becomes more and more and more worth it. And you go, do you know what? I pay it gladly. It's like, the cost of wearing some nice clothes, right? You buy something and you're like, I like that. There's a financial cost. There's a bit of a mental cost in choosing which clothes that you wear, and you've got to then decide, okay, what am I putting on today? Sometimes if you're wearing clothes that are just pushing yourself a little bit out of your comfort zone, you're like, I don't know if I can get away with this. There is that emotional cost. But the more you step into that, you're like, actually, but when I look in the mirror, I'm gonna like it, and I get more compliments, and and guys do this as well, but it's mainly females. All the females who are watching right now, you know exactly what I'm talking about. When you put something on that you're like, oh, I'm not sure, and then you get a compliment, you're like, ooh, it was all worth it. If you're gonna do that for your clothes, guys, we kind of like cars and watches and bits and
badges
like
and stickers.
Yeah. When you get the compliment, when you see, do you know what? Do I want to pay that cost? Hell yeah. Yes, I do. So why would you not do it for your physical, mental, emotional well-being? There is costs to it, but the hidden cost of your inaction, when you choose not to put things in place, when you choose not to train on a regular basis, when you choose not to eat a good diet, when you choose not to look after yourself and get to bed on time and drinking more water and really kind of looking at your lifestyle, when you choose not to look at these things, what is it costing you?
Because we always do have that choice. Let's just say you're lying on the sofa. You're lying on the sofa, your feet are up, you're comfortable, you've been doing stuff in the morning, you think, right, I'm going to go and have a workout now. Now you make that choice. You either do it or you don't. You're on the sofa, or you get up and you get moving. Now, we all like being comfortable. We all like sitting chilling out on the sofa. But if you did that day in, day out, then your life would slowly become uncomfortable in the sense that in a lot of ways in today's society, I use a phrase, I can't remember where I heard it first, so I'll give credit when credit's due when I finally work it out, but we're all spoiled lazy in this life, myself included. We're spoiled lazy in the sense that devices and technology has got us to the point where life can be very easy for us. Let's put all emotional things to one side and hardship that's come our way, but life itself can be quite easy. You know, if you're hungry, more often than not, you just have to travel to the fridge and there's food there. You want running water, assuming you're not in a third world country, turn on the tap, and most water, again, we're privileged here in Scotland, most water that flows from tap is healthy. We do understand that some of you in the States can't drink direct from tap, but you get the point. Running water, hot water, a roof over your head. There's a lot of stuff, and I know people will be like rolling their eyes going, oh yes, the basics, but this is very, very true. We take these things for granted. It's all there for us, so we can literally have a duvet day if we wanted to. The whole Netflix and chill, that is always an option. When you can't be bothered with the world, you're like, we'll have some Netflix and chill. And even better still, I can't be bothered cooking, I'll order pizza. How easy is our life now than 100 to 200 years ago, for example? So naturally we can lean towards comfort. It's in our DNA in a sense. It's when you make that decision to sort of veer away from comfort, even if only briefly, even for a 20-minute workout, a half an hour workout, a 35-minute walk. When you're choosing to get off the sofa to go and do something active, there's certain magic that happens. Staying on the sofa whilst you are comfortable at that time is then making your brain in a state of calm, and then over time there'll be things that you want that seem like they're further and further out of reach. That's when your comfortable state starts to become really uncomfortable. And if anyone is watching this that feels they want to lose some weight but hasn't started yet, we're not picking on you here, but what we're trying to do is motivate you to make a start, no matter how small. Because by not starting, that desire for change is just getting further and further away. And then all that's happening is you're losing your energy to get it, and it just seems all the harder to get there because you just lose that oomph to go and grab it.
That whole Netflix and chill kind of phrase, we all do it, and I can speak from my own experience, and I bet you can all associate with this. There are times when you're watching a show, it might be on Netflix, it might be on Amazon, whatever, right? You're watching a show or you're watching a movie. We like our movies, right? You watch a movie. There are times when I'm watching a movie and I feel like shit. I'm kind of like watching a movie because I'm tired or because I just put it on. I'm like, oh, and I'm like, I don't enjoy the movie as much. But see if I've been in the gym training, I've been busy at work, I've played with the kids, I've done a bunch of things, I'm hydrated, looking after myself, and I'm tired from doing all these other things. You go, right, I can sit down and watch a movie. And I really fucking enjoy watching a movie because I feel like I've earned it, and it's just like, oh, this is really good. I'm doing exactly the same thing as what I can do without doing all those things, but it's just a different feeling that you've got. So when you're going about your everyday life, you've got to consider the things that you're doing and how you feel when you're doing them. Again, using the opposite situation, there is a physical, mental, emotional cost of actually training too much, or working too much, or doing whatever, and again, you're doing the same thing. Like right now, you could argue that we're working, right? We love this, so we love chatting to you guys, we love chatting to the bigger audience across the world. It doesn't really feel like work to us, and we've got a pretty good balance at the moment. We're kind of just here, there, and everywhere. Therefore, it's just really enjoyable. But everybody's been in a situation, us included, where you're working, doing exactly what we're doing right now, but when you're not taking time for yourself, you're not training in the gym, you're not eating well, you're not drinking well, you're not spending time with the family, and you're like, I'm working again. And it shows up in your aura, your energy, your emotions, your connection with other people. So always consider, okay, well, what is the cost of me doing this or not doing this? Okay, life is all about balance, driving yourself forward, but understanding that you can relax as well. Okay, but this is all about the hidden costs of your inaction, right? What's it costing you physically? When you look in the mirror, do you like what you see? Do you see you, or do you see a a strange representation of what you've become. How do you feel when you wake up in the morning? Do you feel like yourself, or do you feel a drained, slightly foggy version, a little bit sad? How's your relationships? How's your connections with other people, your kids, your co-workers, your friends and family members? Ask yourself all these questions. What is the hidden cost of me not taking actions towards being the most authentic version of myself? And then you'll soon see that taking action, with all its costs involved, there's costs of everything, suddenly becomes worth it.
Stephen's into spiritual stuff, I'm into my geeky sci-fi stuff, and a lot of the books that I read, they've very much got this sort of positive realm, if you like, and then they've got the very chaotic realm. And in the chaotic realm, there's the chaos gods. I'm not going to bore you too much, but ultimately it's the path to ruin. Now, there's things that I do in my life that I consider putting myself on the path to ruin. And when I read by ruin, like, if something is very chaotic, the rule of chaos is you've got a nice, clean, empty table, it can only get messy. Simple as that. You've got a tidy room, it can only get made. You've got a made bed, it can only be unmade after that point. So if things degrade, they become that kind of, they become very chaotic, they just degrade, if you like. So there's certain things in my life that when I choose inaction, I'm actually choosing action but towards the opposite direction. So let's just take the first lockdown. I couldn't be bothered trying, at the time, I couldn't be bothered trying to create home workouts that I was going to follow myself. I should have done it, but I didn't. I made the decision and thought, I want to get exercising, and then when it came to do it, I was inactive. But not only that, I followed then what I like to call the path to ruin. I started eating things that I shouldn't be, given that I wasn't exercising. And then of course you have a bottle of wine, you enjoy your bottle of wine watching movies, then you find you're having a bottle of wine a night. And over 3 weeks you're scratching your head going, yep, I'm definitely on the road to ruin now. And then that you still think, yeah, but I want to get back to where I was. Now this is the big kicker here, because if you're watching this right now and you're a bit overweight, everybody looks back to a period in their life when they looked and felt their best. They might be very young, it might only been a year before, but that is the sore point. When you see what you looked like before, you're like, oh, I wish I was that again. That's that desire because you knew it was possible. And then it makes it all the harder when you feel you can't start. So every time you choose inaction, a part of that goal in your head sort of dies a little bit. And then you think, oh, tomorrow in the drive, you get a bit more depressed and down about it. And then you continue down that path, the road to ruin, as I like. And I did that during the first lockdown, got quite out of shape. And eventually it took I was like, enough with the inaction, because my inaction was not simply inaction, it was only inaction towards my healthy goal. And then there was action being taken in the complete opposite direction, and it compounded the problem. So when you're choosing inaction about a particular goal, also ask yourself, what action are you taking that's taking you further away from that goal? You know, if your goal is to drop 20 pounds and you haven't taken action yet, so you haven't started an eating plan, you haven't started an exercise plan, but then to make matters worse, you're making terrible food choices, ones that you definitely know are not right. You know, buying a whole pack of 4 muffins and consuming them all, you know that's far too much. That's taking you even further back. That's making that £20 goal £22, £24, 26. So your inaction is in a particular direction, but then also just think, well, if you're spending energy going the other way, could you flip that? Could you get fired up to switch it round? Swap the poles? Yeah, swap the poles. Yeah. From the inaction to action and the other action into inaction.
So, if you're keen to take action, now just a quick one. Jennifer, so you're saying that somebody was meant to call you an hour ago. I've just popped a wee message into our group chat with our healthy helpers who are doing those calls, so they know that you're waiting for that
I
call.
suspect there'll be a time difference error on someone's part. It might have been that they've looked at the time difference and been confused. That's what I suspect it'll be.
So don't worry about that. So if anybody else wants to have a conversation with our team, if you want to work directly with myself and Rab, we do live coaching calls with our members 3 times per week. We run you through training, progressive nutrition, coaching, mindset, your mental, emotional well-being. We're there for you 100%. You've got a community that has got your back. If you're keen to work with us, if you think, you know what, I am going to take action on this, I do want to do something about my health and well-being, I'm ready to pay that cost, the financial, the emotional, the mental, the physical costs. Okay, that there is costs with these things, but there's also costs when you don't take action. If you want to do that, go to thekiltedcoaches.com.
I've just put it in the comments for both of them.
Perhaps just put it in the comments for both of them.
Boom.
Thekiltedcoaches.com, click on joining the clan, and you can read through the whole program, you can read through the membership, what's involved, and then just simply fill out the registration form, and one of the team will be in touch to chat through the next steps.
Now, I'm just going to give a shout out to some people on YouTube first. So Tim says, good morning, gentlemen. Obeid says, good afternoon, lovely mates. Loads of blessings and wishes for you both.
Hey.
The Kilted Adventurer says, inactivity breeds inactivity, but activity breeds activity. Newton's law of motion. Fantastic. Yep, it's like we sometimes shout about success breeds more success. So, you know, activity, you'll get a small success regardless of how little that might be. That's going to breed more and more successes. So absolutely. Obeid said, Rab, your daughter's very cute. Lots of blessings upon her. Thank you very much. And he also said, I'm following your instructions to lose some weight and is very, very helpful. And then Gorilla Notion says, both of you are looking really muscular. Good. We've been taking action. That's why.
Sean, I work out almost every day, but I love my wine too much. So Sean, just looking at the language that you're using, if you're saying you love wine too much, then loving wine is one thing, loving wine too much probably means that you already know you're drinking too much. And therefore, if you love wine, everyone's been there. In fact, I fell out of love. Okay, so if you think about music, for instance, I fell out of love with Oasis, the band, for pretty much a decade of my life because I loved them too much. And I basically just sickened myself with them. In my head, I'm like, too much. And I just absolutely sickened myself. It was. You can love absolutely anything too much, and therefore you have to step away from it. And now when I hear Oasis, I don't listen too much, and therefore I really, really enjoy them. I love them probably more than what I ever did. If you love wine, if you actually love wine, I'm guessing by your language you're just drinking it too much. We're not saying to cut it out completely, but cut it out enough so that when you do have it, you're like, oh, yeah, like this. And then you actually improve your health along the way.
I'm always careful with alcohol because my father is a raging alcoholic, so I'm very close with him, and it's something he's always battled with. With the wine thing, I'm always concerned with myself when I go down periods where I find myself drinking a bottle of wine a night and I scratch my head going, am I becoming my father? But one of the interesting things with wine, that at the time, you watch a movie, you relax, or maybe having a conversation with people at home or friends, whatever, and you're in a nice relaxed state in X, Y, and Z, right? And in your head, you probably wanted that wine. If I'm speaking from experience, if we've had a long day, or you're just like, oh, tonight I just want to relax. But what I found when I'm having a bottle of wine at night, and Steve and I have spoken about this, is you don't sleep as well. So although you might go to bed, and I wake up, I say feeling fine, no hangover, but I don't sleep as well. So the next day I get up, I always get up back at 5. When I wake up and I've had wine, I'm always just that bit exhausted. And as that day, it's just like, I'm firing not quite 100%. So for anyone that's having wine all the time, yes, you get that relaxing feeling at that point in time, but ask yourself this, take a couple of nights off it and focus on how you feel first thing in the morning, having not had any wine. Maybe do 3 or 4 days on the trot and focus on how much you felt in the morning having not had the wine. And then that, for me, was a direct correlation. I only try and now have wine when I have a morning that I don't have too much to do and I'm aware of what's going to happen, because if you get into the habit of having wine all the time, it's the next day and over time you're really stressing your body out and you're not sleeping properly. I mean, ultimately, your body's processing that alcohol while you're asleep or when you're supposedly asleep. So you're not really giving your body a rest. And then when you wake up the next day, you're just not quite there.
Lois says, thanks coaches and clan for helping me lose 35 pounds and improving my life. Boom. Lois, amazing. Well done to you for all the hard work.
Alicio says, you two are great. A question, in your opinion, how to make the chest grow faster despite the feeding and the exercise of the chest is a bit slow? Thanks. So Alicio, depending on what you're doing for chest, let's just take bench press, for example, or some sort of dumbbell press, okay? Generally what you're speaking is, what reps and weight are you using? And you flip it from whatever you've been doing. If you've been doing heavy weights with low reps, and you've been doing that for a period of time and you don't feel that it's growing, then flip it, go lightweight for reps of 30 and get a real burn. Vice versa, if you've been doing high repetitions, flip it and go heavy, assuming you don't have any joint conditions. Switching up your training is important to shock the muscles and encourage them to grow. It's just change up the stimulus for a period of time. That's why training programs, typically when they're periodized, you might go through a period that you're doing heavy training for 6 to 8 weeks, and then you do maybe high rep training for 8 weeks, maybe some dynamic stuff on the back, rinse and repeat. If you're doing home exercises, press ups are awesome for the chest, and with those, just go for burnout. Go for as many as you can and get your max record, and that can really.
It's also worth considering, so that I went through an issue for a long time, and I'm still kind of working on it actually to this day, but from my military days, the front of my shoulders are pretty active, so if I'm doing ever bench movements, press ups, anything like that, it's the front of my shoulders that then develop, and I got veins coming through my shoulders because they're just so active. And for a while, my chest was just pretty flat, but my shoulders were just like pumped up. And I was like, oh man, it's a nightmare. I always wanted a bigger chest. So what I started doing was then deactivating my shoulders. Now you may or may not have this problem. It might be different areas of your body that are more active. But by me stretching my shoulders, doing some foam rolling my shoulders, just pressing it and holding it, and then activation in the chest. So like, I actually starting with flies. So obviously flies were always like a secondary, third, fourth, fifth move at the end of a workout. I started doing flies at the start because it activates the chest, and actually the shoulders don't come to it very much at all. It activates the chest, deactivate the shoulders, and then go into my bench press. I then feel my chest a lot more, and that's when it started to grow. It's all about making sure that blood volume, the blood flow is going to the muscles that you want to grow.
Hope that was helpful.
What else we got? Tina, good morning. I agree. If I do nothing, my rheumatoid arthritis gets worse. You do have to work through the pain. Yeah, so if you got rheumatoid arthritis, it's about being sensible as well, making sure that you're eating anti-inflammatory foods, making sure that you're feeding your body with the nutrients that it needs. And there's different rep ranges and different exercises that are going to be good for arthritis and some that are not.
Nicholas says hello from Australia, and Gorilla Notion said, what is keeping you mentally strong through this pandemic? Ultimately, we just focus on what is in our control and going about our daily lives, trying to be as healthy as we can, and encouraging the people that follow us or that listen to us to be as healthy as they can. It's all about up here for everything you do. It comes to exercise, if you don't have it up here, then it doesn't matter how many press-ups, jump squats, whatever it's going to do, it's going to make no difference. So its mental strength comes from exercising the brain as a muscle, and also recognizing that stress levels need to be optimized through stress management techniques. So exercise itself stresses muscles, and then afterwards they rest, recover and grow. With your mind, meditating, doing relaxation techniques, breathing techniques, taking time out, recognizing potential stressors in your life. I mean, for me, if I ever go to a busy city, I'm very much aware of the traffic and the people and the hustle and the bustle, and I am aware of that level of stress, and I'm thinking, I'm so glad I don't live here, but because I'm aware of it, I look forward to coming home to a bit of peace and quiet and chilling out. For those that live in a busy city, you might want to be thinking about adding in some relaxation techniques, because if you're not aware of the hustle and bustle, you might think you're immune to it, but your mind is getting bombarded with sounds and light and constant changes and flickering. It can keep you on a status of high alert, and when that's happening all the time, stress levels go up, and that's when coping mechanisms sometimes fail.
Give you an example. If I was to do this to Rab right now, right, it's not sore, but it's like annoying, right? But if I was just to stay there forever, it would slowly but surely become numb, because your body responds to it, and you slowly but surely the blood goes away from that area, and it's like, okay, well, we should move away, and your senses become used to it. So this is what it's like when you live in a big city or you're constantly bombarded, you become numb to it. But if I was to say like this, that part of Rab's shoulder would actually start to die, okay, because all the blood's being pushed away from it constantly. But if you can recover from the stress, what I've actually done is actually pushed the blood away from it, and then I moved away and take my finger away, suddenly that little part there, all the blood's rushing back, bringing nutrients, bringing oxygen and recovering. So then suddenly, if you live in a city, you might think, no, I live in a city and I'm fine, or, you know, I've got loads of emails, or I've got financial worries or whatever, but I'm fine with it. Yes, you've probably got used to it, but these little parts of you are just under stress constantly. So make sure, again, Brad mentioned meditating, getting out in nature, taking some time away, making sure that you're actually looking after yourself, removing yourself from your normal situation, just so that you can reflect on your normal situation. Sometimes you can't see the forest for the trees. You can't see your problems if you're in the problem itself.
And just to continue on, because Gorilla says the lack of control over certain things heightens my anxiety. I like to be in control. Now, for people that like to be in control, completely understand, but you can only be in control of the things you actually have control over. And there's actually not many things in life you actually have control over.
Your thoughts, your feelings, your actions, nothing else.
So when things happen, like a pandemic, things are going on around you, we're not going to delve into it too much. A lot of that, whether it's your governments or the people around you and your neighbours, everything is actually out of your control. You can only focus on how you react and respond to that. And granted, we do appreciate your anxiety goes up in those situations, but managing your stress and anxiety levels is how you're responding to that. And yes, there's no instant fix, but you certainly can reduce those heightened states of alertness by doing some of these techniques. Even if it reduced it by 5%, 1%, that'd be a huge win and absolutely worth it, because if you don't do anything to reduce it, the only way is up with some of these things.
When it comes to things, you mentioned the pandemic, it's all about the pandemic. Now, there are thousands and thousands, millions of people who are contracting or being exposed to the virus, okay? Now, there's a percentage of those people, unfortunately, who are perishing, right? But there are a shit ton more who are exposed to it and get some symptoms and then recover, right? What's the difference? Okay, there's lots of debate to have there, we're not going to have that. But the bottom line is, it's been proven that sunlight kills the virus, okay? So more time outdoors. Vitamin D is going to help your immune system. You looking after yourself, you being fit and healthy. If you've got lung issues, if you've got heart issues, again, if you're inactive, not looking after yourself, eating shit food, you're going to be vulnerable. So are you looking after yourself? Are you doing the things, your thoughts, your feelings, your actions? Are you looking after yourself? So if you were to come across this virus, does your immune system help you or hinder you? Does it make you more vulnerable or less vulnerable? That's the things, and unfortunately, everybody's going to take care of themselves, and that's what then creates this idea of the pandemic, because there's people who are suffering. It's the same as lots of different illnesses. You take control of you. Okay, and we've got a chapter in our book which is coming out in October. This is not a plug, but it kind of is. There's a chapter in our book called "Own or Be Owned." Now, are you being owned by the media? Okay, because the media will have you believe that the only thing that's ever going to stop this is the vaccine. That's it. Nothing else. No government, no media are talking about, are you looking after yourself? Are you getting out in fresh air? Are you getting the vitamin D exposure? Are you getting some healthy, nutritious food into you? Are you meditating and controlling your stress levels? Are you going through some breathwork practices? There's a bunch of things that you can absolutely own on this, but nobody seems to be talking about it. So either own or be owned. If you're owning it, then great. You focus on you. Focus on do your research, or you will be owned by mass hysteria.
I'm going to give a shout out to Susan. Thank you for your donation. Susan jumped across on Facebook and she said, love being a member for 2 years with great success. Loving life and myself again. Thanks, Stephen Rabb. And I'll just give a shout out to Chopping Back One. Hello from Canada. And Shani said, I've reduced alcohol to once a week, made a big difference to how I feel. Boom. Yeah, that's all the YouTube's up to date.
Laurie says, I joined at the beginning of this year and have lost 40 pounds. The group helps me keep motivated. Laurie, well done.
Gunshot, Laurie.
Oosh. Tricia, hello from Yorkshire. Jennifer, I often ask who is that person stating back at me from the mirror, staring back at me in the mirror. Yeah, Jennifer. A lot of our members, that's why we kind of mentioned that, because a lot of our members, most people who come to see us, when they look in the mirror, they don't see themselves. They see some manifestation that has been created due to their previous choices and lifestyle. Sometimes, if you look back at the past decade, you may have been in a state of stress. You might have just had kids and you're trying to look after your kids and you're so focused on your kids that you've been neglected. Okay, maybe you've got financial worries, or maybe your career sucks, or maybe there's just whatever. There's a bunch of things that put you in a state of stress. And you might look back in the past 10 years and go, yeah, that's why when I look in the mirror, I don't see myself anymore. Because you've been in a state of stress and you look like a stressed person, overweight, pale, clammy skin, your eyes are dull, you're just not, your face isn't bright. So when you start looking after yourself, when you make that choice to say, do you know what, enough's enough, I'm going to look after myself because I am the most important person in my life, that's when you start to make those changes.
Go back to even the title of this session, the hidden cost of inaction. If you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always got. And if you're always choosing not to pursue that goal, then your life is going to stay pretty much as it is. You're going to continue to, if you're gaining weight, you're going to continue to gain. Or if you're not gaining weight, you're just feeling sluggish, you're not feeling good about yourself, and you've got these hopes and aspirations seeing miles away. If you do nothing, nothing will change. That's the long and short of it. Doing nothing is not going to change anything.
Tina, this is a good question. So when you get to your goal, what motivates you to maintain?
Ooh.
So this is actually quite common, and it's a real simple answer. Where most people go wrong in their weight loss journey is they've got themselves, and then they've got some idea that they'd like to try and achieve, right? But we reverse that and we go, okay, it's not you and something you want to try and achieve. You've got you, and you've got somewhere where you are right now. Okay, this is you. Okay, but you're just not there yet. So when you flip that around and say, no, this is not me, and I'm trying to get somewhere. That is me already. And actually, when you believe in yourself, when you say, well, this is who I am. Like, I don't need motivation to exercise and to eat good food, to get to bed on time, to drink lots of water. I don't need motivation to do that because it's my identity. This is who I am. Rab's the same. Our members start to understand this and they become that. So then they're exactly saying, this is just who I am. So rather than seeing it as a goal that you're trying to achieve, you then put your heart and your soul in that place and you go, that's me. That is me. It's not like when you look in the mirror and go, yeah, that's me. In an ideal world, I'd be something different. No. When you look in the mirror, you want to recognize that it's not you. If you're not happy where you are, say that's not me, then great. If that's not you, then let's focus on what is you. Let's have an image in your head, a vision so fucking strong that you can't help but take action. When you've got that, you don't need motivation. It's your identity.
Becomes who you are. I've lost track of the Facebook comments.
Mindy, do you want to just go for mine then? Here, this one here.
Mindy, hello gentlemen from US, Kansas City, Kansas. You guys are awesome. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Lois sent 50 stars.
Gunshots. Anne says, hello.
Is it me you're looking for? Jennifer says, thanks, you're welcome.
Yep. Hello, you Mike Lav.
Make it.
Hey.
Is that hidden?
Because we have damn in it.
Okay, Mark says, stick to the damn plan. Your workouts of chopping wood and lifting rocks boulders help during lockdown, and I keep it going. Mark, that's exactly what our book is called, The Kilted Coaches, How to Stick to the Damn Plan.
I love it. Tommy B says, I love your crazy video, guys. Happy days.
Mario says, hola bom tarde, vom fazer amor voces.
Happy days. Joe says, I love being active and outdoors, makes me a wee anxious not being active. There you go.
Hero just joined up, looking forward to your program.
Welcome to the clan, love it.
Looking forward to getting to know you over the next few months.
Anne from the clan says, get stuck in.
Vince, coming to Edinburgh next Wednesday, is there any walks you can suggest from me and my husband? Arthur's Seat is the most common one in Edinburgh. Basically, it's a lovely walk and you'll get a view over the whole city. If you want to move out of Edinburgh and try and go travelling somewhere, then there's nice walks in, if you go head north, you've got Callander, you've got any, like St Andrews, all around the coast of Fife. You want to come into Perthshire, you've got the Hermitage, you've got Falls of Brewer. There's loads and loads of walks, but if you want to stay in Edinburgh, Arthur's Seat is your best shout.
Kim says, stop drinking 5 days ago, it's getting easier to sleep. There you are.
Nice one. Sharon, hi guys, lost 6 stone, 9 pounds
wow,
still.
Gunshot for that one.
Yeah, well done. Need to get up and do exercise, but my knee gone. What can I do to help with walking as need to tone? Sharon, if you can't walk at the moment because of your knee, then I guess it's going to be focusing on upper body while your knee recovers. So if you don't already have a kettlebell, make sure you get a kettlebell. Would be a good shout. Or you can do some bodyweight exercises. Just get the shoulders movement. You can create tension. Like if I relaxed, tensed, relaxed, tensed. Okay, so if I can create tension with no weight whatsoever, then imagine just going through this type of movement and pretending you've got weights and just lifting the weights. Doing this, you can actually create tension through the muscles and you can get pretty toned just by flexing. That's why we like to do the gun show all the time. working on our biceps constantly, watching you guys.
And the thing is, with your knee, it depends whether you can still stay vertical, because sometimes people come with issues with the knee that makes walking difficult, but they can still stand or make use of crutches. If that is the case, you want to do as much of that is comfortable, because you don't want to be sitting down if you don't, or if you can help it where possible. Susan says, with the weights, I agree about going from heavy low reps to light low reps, but I always like to take some time to focus on strength in the end ranges of the movement. Fair play.
Anthony, got a goal to lose 35 kilograms by June. Started dieting, lost 4 kilograms in 3 weeks. You have inspired me to get moving again. Thank you, guys. Anthony, glad to inspire.
And if you are wanting any more help with that, although you're doing great already, if you need any help with that and you're interested, our doors are open at the moment, thekiltedcoaches.com. Go and have a look at what we can offer.
The main thing there, Anthony, is based on what I was just saying about when your goals and maintaining it. The best thing, that 35 kilograms, don't think about losing the 35 kilograms. Think about being that person who is the weight that you would be if you lost the 35 kilograms. So if you're, say, 100 kilograms right now, then think about being the person at 65 kilograms. So you don't have to lose 35 kilograms. You are 65 kilograms already. Have that in your mind to start with, then get it into your heart. Feel how that feels and go, right, this is me. I'm just going to live the life of that person. And then it becomes easy.
Dawn says, good morning from Alabama, USA. I'm working on my breathing, getting my lungs stronger after getting exercise-induced asthma. I see a specialist the 1st of next month.
Nice.
As an asthmatic myself, I feel your pain.
Yeah. As you improve your fitness and lose some weight, the conditions of any exercise-induced asthma will be greatly reduced.
Massively.
Sometimes completely reversed, and you won't have it anymore.
Exactly.
Cheryl, it's crazy how much we are bombarded by the media. It's overwhelming at times. You can actually just choose not to watch it.
Laurie says, morning coaches, and then Cheryl also says, so glad I caught y'all live. I love the way my favourite Texan says y'all.
Anthony says, side topic, I love the head of the coup, by the way.
Yeah, thank you. Awesome.
Got the Kilted Coach's tartan cap on.
Craig sends a bunch of kisses.
And Michael, okay, so what's up with the blonde hair?
I don't know what's up with blonde hair.
Yeah,
he's a blonde haired guy, he's always been blonde hair.
I don't know.
Tommy
Please
says,
expand on that question.
Tommy says, I see pants, not a kilt betrayal.
Yeah.
Actually, our kilts are back into the kilt mate are getting the pockets adjusted, so they are getting readjusted as we speak, and we'll have them back early next week.
We've got little hidden pockets in the kilt, which are absolute genius, but where the phone slips in, there, every time you're walking, it's doing this, and you end up with a big red mark on your leg. So we're turning those pockets sideways. It should be much better. Ariane, being a member of the clan now for over a year, I lost nearly 30 kilograms. Not only I lost the kilograms, I am so much happier, and I have new goals like doing runs, which I never expected, and working on my happiness. Love my journey. Ariane, not just any runs, muddy angel runs when you're like neck high in mud with a big smile on your face and big guns.
Awesome. Melanie says, I want another t-shirt, own or beyond. Can get that sorted for you.
Great Glen Way.
Yeah, that's another walk like the Westland Way. It's longer though, I think. No, that's the Southern Upland is longer. Great Glen, I'm not sure the distance, I'm being honest.
Sharon says, thanks guys.
Lord Duncan says, greeting Ram and Stephen from Florida, USA. Good to catch you live. You're very welcome.
Happy days. Lynn, hello from South Carolina, USA. Just getting started on my journey.
Lynn, comments. Happy days.
Make sure you set your goal and you make sure that you understand that it's possible. Believe in its manifestation.
I'm just going to finish off these YouTube ones. Lynn says you're really sexy. Pete says, I never would do these things, but I had to say hi to my two favourite knuckleheads. Fair play. Canella says, man, those double biceps are huge. Rockshot saying, tell the guy with the bad knee to ask the doctor to extend his physical therapy. Most of the time they will do it. There's a wee tip for you. Alicia says, thanks a lot. Here in Mexico, it's 8:49. Boom, boom. And Robert just says, really appreciate you both. You're great role models. I have definitely applied some of your valuable teachings to my life. Stay strong. Rock on, brothers. Boom. Right, I actually need to rock on, so...
Strong on.
Yes. So we hope you've enjoyed a bit of a lesson today. Again, if you are interested in working with us, the doors to our online membership are open, and they're only open for another 5 weeks or until all the spaces are filled. If you are interested in what we offer or just curious, go to thekiltedcoaches.com.
We love helping people. It's why we do what we do. It's why we even do these little lessons and little inspiration. If you want to work with us a little bit closely, we love getting to know our members as well, as much as we possibly can. So yeah, give us a shout, kiltedcoaches.com. One of our team will be in contact with you, and we can chat about your next steps.
Happy days. Right, everybody, we will speak to you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.